Check 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 3. Check. Set go. 1 2 3. Check mic. Mic check. 1 2 3. Set go. My name is Harrison. I am live at Big Mouth. So grateful to be here. So grateful to be the first. The first at everything.
You know what they say, Harrison. The first to the wall is always the bloodiest. Right?
Hey man.
You start your store and be the first of the kind. It's always you always get you gotta go through all the bullshit. Pave the way for everyone else.
Yup.
One stage, one front, my face on the front page. Only if I had one girl and one crib. Yo, all I need is one. Yo, all I need is one mic, one beat, one stage, one front, my face on the front page. Only if I had one girl and one crib.
Yeah, I got a page on Facebook. Union City Life. That's mine.
Okay, dope.
And I'll definitely get a shout out there. When do you open?
September 1st.
Yo, all I need is one mic, one beat, one stage, one nigga front, my face on the front page. Only if I had one gun, one girl and one crib, one God. All I need is one mic.
You look good. You look good. Whenever you want to spit,
All right, so on this podcast, I'm just gonna be in the middle. Like I'm the center of all this.
This is think of this more like a screen test.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of let it rip.
Yeah.
The idea is that when I'm done here, I'll give you the raw footage, and then you can kind of look at it and then get more ideas.
All right, perfect. Let me answer this call real quick. Yo, what's up, brother?
What's going on, man? How are you?
I'm doing great, bro.
What you up to?
I'm sitting in front of a mic. I'm the first guy on this podcast in the studio. Big Mouth. You're into a lot of social media. I think you should meet my boy.
Sure.
Yeah. And I'm about to do this podcast. I'm about to, do some work. But I just want to let you know that the windows have the graphics on them, and now the QR code is active, and so people are going to the Instagram page, and we're picking up some followers. But I wanted to talk to you more about how we're gonna continue and keep on funneling these clients and make it fun and make it interactive for the new customers that we have, especially the early ones that are excited for that juice spot to open up in September. So I know you're the guy. We talked about
Yeah, brother,
2
we
months.
gotta get together, bro, with the team, and
We could go out to eat. We could all just either go out to eat, have a coffee somewhere nearby. But I would like to bring people in just so they could feel the vibe, see the vision, and I could explain myself a little bit more to everybody on where I see this train going.
same here, definitely. We gotta set something up where we have your team, my team, everyone together, and whether it be a phone call or if you guys want to come by the office, I think that would probably be the best thing to do.
All right, say no more. Let me finish this podcast, and when I'm finished, I'm gonna text you. All right?
Do your thing. Yo, I got a question. Are you talking about Big Mouth, the guy who does dancing?
No, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about Big Mouth Studio.
Oh, Big Mouth Studio. Okay.
Follow them. They just opened up an Instagram recently.
Yeah, tell them to look up Jersey Media and ask for
No. You gotta look up Big Mouth. You gotta find the backstory. You gotta find out about the backstory of Big Mouth. So
All right.
he said you're always welcome. All right, brother. I'll text you after this. All right.
Bye.
These young bucks.
I know. Look me up.
He said, I've been in the game longer than you, son. You wearing diapers.
We've been doing this for a minute. So talk to me. Talk to me about you, your adventures, what you've done.
Oh man, where do I start? I think I'm gonna start with being
Bring the mic down a little bit.
okay, cool.
So it sounds funny. Like bend that arm.
think I'm gonna start with being a good Samaritan of this city, Union City, great city. If you're not from here, then you wouldn't know. Um, I grew up playing sports my entire life. Uh, Football specifically, football, baseball. I was okay at basketball. I was okay at soccer, but I mainly focused all my focus on football. And football has really been the vehicle for my life. As of recent, I finally got an opportunity to play again. The last time that I had played football at any type of level was in college, and going into my senior year, COVID happened. So that senior year that I was expecting to have really was kind of devastating. Fast forward to 2025, I'm playing football overseas, and it's been a journey, to be honest. 5 years later, to say that I was playing football professionally overseas uh, in Spain is kind of crazy to me. But at the same time, um, sometimes it's only crazy if you do it. And
What was the most memorable thing out in Spain? Like, if you walked away with one thing coming back to the States, were you like,
man, how healthy they live, man. How
right?
yeah, they have a great healthy lifestyle. I admire their way of how they nourish their body, or how they took care of their body, or how they put their body first. And what I took away was that lifestyle of putting health first. Everybody out there is very active. They see the sun come out, and they're immediately going out for a swim, or they're going running, or they're just being very social. And so I took that away from over there. And that brings me back, right? So that gave me a great idea, right, to put my health first. And I'll get to the good part of taking that away from Spain. But let's get back to how football was a vehicle of my life. So football helped me, really work on my discipline. And so in high school, I was, all state, on both sides of the ball. It was all fun and games. I got a scholarship to play at the next level at a business school. I ended up choosing a Division II business school over a Division I football school, simply for the fact that I really believe in my studies. I believed in business, so I took that route, and I'm very very happy that I did, because everything is always full circle for me. Going to that business school really put me out there, and it showed me who the business people really were in this world. They exposed me to CEO of CBS at the time, and I was able to walk into a headquarters of a corporation and see how these people were operating. So I was very blessed to see that, and I'm very blessed to go to that school, get a scholarship because of football, and then that discipline carried on into me being a motivational speaker after football, talking to kids from throughout the state. I was a football coach. I was really into the community, and then I really started after that just working, taking care of my family. Life got a little bit seriously, so I was kind of pretty monotonous for the next 3 years after college, just kind of going by life and stuff like that. But I was always had that entrepreneur spirit, and I was able to build somewhat of a decent social media company.
So, what was your first entrepreneurial inspiration? What was the first thing that made the light bulb go off and say, "Hey, I want to chase that"?
All right, well, we got to go back to maybe high school when I saw another kid like making money in the lunchroom. He was selling brownies, but the happy brownies. And so I saw he was getting it off, and so I always try to keep it PG. I never really tried to get out of my lane. So I started selling brownies. I started grabbing these Duncan Hine boxes that at the time were $3, and out of those Duncan Hine boxes, I was making at least $15 to $20, 15 to 20 brownies that I was selling at either $1 or $2. So I was making times five the box. And so I was like, wow, this is how business works. You buy something low, and you sell it high. And then that spirit carried on into having multiple jobs in high school. Seeing income flow. Understanding what how valuable my time was, and then I really once I got to college as a freshman, I really started to watch a lot of movies. Actually, specifically the Facebook movie with Mark Zuckerberg, and that one like really inspired me, and that's when I really started taking social media very seriously, and that's when I started my first company because a lot, social media has allowed people to start a company off their phone, and I started selling T-shirts. I started selling T-shirts. I started branding them with the name Student Athlete because I really believed in myself because I was a young kid, first generation student athlete here in Union City to make it out per se. Was able to get a $250,000 scholarship to go to school for free just because I played football. Obviously, also did my due diligence in school, but I was very grateful at the fact that I was able to do that. So if I was able to do that, I wanted to project that, and I would wanted to motivate the kids from my city and let them know that they could do it as well. So I started doing it through this T-shirt movement, and I started selling a bunch of T-shirts. I started pressing my own T-shirts. Started like finding material. I started finding raw products, sourcing them, and learning that business of just T-shirt selling. I became very resourceful. I started to understand that business is really just about being resourceful and understanding where you can get the best product, the best material from this person or from that person. Being very personable is how you get your product off one, and I learned that very early on, and so I guess selling brownies helped me sell T-shirts, and selling T-shirts helped me sell branding packages, and selling branding packages helped me also learn how to invest my money, making money, and then it's all led up to what I want to share later on in this podcast. If we get to it, but yeah, that's kind of where it all started.
Yeah. And then it's never looking back, right? It's just forward. You could never even imagine doing anything else but being an entrepreneur. At least that's the same for me. I don't know if it's for you yet.
Yeah, I don't see myself, taking any step backwards because I know how much value, I bring to the table. And I know how much, now, before I didn't know how valuable my hour was, but now I understand the true value of what my hour is. So I'm always doing something. I'm always talking to somebody. I'm always pitching somebody. I'm always working on a business. I'm always helping. I'm always serving because I believe that's what being an entrepreneur is about, serving. And if I had the opportunity to go to a prestigious business school per se, I got to take full advantage of that and continue to pursue it.
Yeah, no, you're in the school of hard knocks. That's the best way. All the knowledge in the world can never prepare you for the day to day of business. They give you a foundation, but
They give you a foundation, but it's also your job to understand that entrepreneurship is about that day to day and is about being okay with being uncomfortable, right? Because a lot of what business is just being uncomfortable. Whether you're in an uncomfortable room, an uncomfortable meeting, an uncomfortable business pitch, but it's all about that, to be honest. And I've learned to become comfortable with the uncomfortable, uh, and I've also understood that business and entrepreneurship is about patience as well, and understanding that the day that you plant the seed is not the day that you eat the fruit, and that sometimes it's not going to be on day one or the next week or the next month or even the next year. I'm closing things that I worked on 3, 4, 5 years ago.
isn't that crazy?
I'm closing on relationships that I worked on 3, 4, 5 years ago because I had that long term vision of what maybe this person can't help me today, but I'm gonna establish a great relationship with this person so that later down the line, if I ever do need them, I always got them in my back pocket, you know. But I established that relationship by being, you know, a good person, a listening ear, or just being able to provide some type of value. And you know, as an entrepreneur, you keep like adding stuff to your arsenal, to your skill set, and like you feel as an entrepreneur, you feel like you can help anybody. And you know, that's the I guess that's the amazing part about being an entrepreneur.
That's it. Me and your examples, we're here because of that. Yeah, we're living it right now. It's crazy, man. So, next question I have for you. Podcast, right? What have your thoughts? What have you thought? If you were going to do a podcast, just regular sit down, you, three people, kind of chat about what's going on in the world, or is there something else that you maybe had in mind that you're thinking about doing that's a little different?
Yeah, man. You know what? I get a lot of motivation internally from listening to other people speak. Um, and you know, I tune into a lot of people's podcasts. Right now, I tune into a lot of like, motivational speakers or you know former Navy SEALs, you know former or current entrepreneurs, current business owners, and how they talk about you know the discipline, the lifestyle, what it takes, like that. Like I want to embody, and I want to be able to speak it to the camera. I want to be able to tell people that anything that you can possibly dream of is possible. Because if you can believe it here, you can achieve it out here in this world. And
It sounds cliche, but it's true. It's true, and a lot of people don't get that. They don't understand that. The people that you listen to, and someone like yourself that's getting ready to do the same thing, it's a matter of just being comfortable, right? And finding your right groove for a podcast. You know, finding the atmosphere, like where you're sitting right now, right? Maybe this is just a test set,
yeah,
but maybe your backdrop is something else. Maybe you know what I'm saying. And
yeah,
maybe this is what this sitting here now, this pitch meeting is that. It's just getting comfortable.
yeah.
Just like entrepreneurship, podcasting,
I'm.
consistency.
This is crazy because I actually spoke this into existence. So a lot of the stuff that I do, I'm just like I'm laughing sometimes because I'm really like speaking things into existence. Like I'm telling you know my girlfriend, I'm like, yo, babe, I need to do a podcast like sometime soon because I got so many things that I want to tell and like you know tell the world that you know this podcast thing like I don't know where it's gonna come from, but I know it's coming. Like I'm gonna be on a podcast soon. And boom, I'm the first guy on a podcast in this podcast studio, and it's like sometimes, bro, perfect timing is one of those things. You know, speaking things into existence and trusting God's timing is very important for me. Also, being confident. I think being confident is one of the biggest things that we have to work on. It's one of the biggest muscles that we have to work on because if you don't practice confidence, if you don't train it enough, then you'll shrink to whatever the world wants you to shrink to. So you know, those things right now are like you know I'm really honing in on, especially my confidence. You know, my confidence has brought me into rooms where people didn't even think I belonged, but because I was confident in myself because I worked that muscle and I worked that muscle through sports. Right now, when I'm in the business world, when I'm in these business meetings, when I'm in pitches, when I'm in, you know, closings, you know, that confidence that I got on the field, you know, now I started to apply it to those rooms, and it has a lot to do with psychology, you know, body language, and you know those things, and I'm happy that I'm going from the athlete to the entrepreneur that I've always wanted to be, the business owner that I've always wanted to be.
Early on, early on. How old are you?
26 years old.
Look at you.
I just turned 26 July 2nd, a couple of days ago.
Quarter century. Look at that. So, question: do you for your podcast? Are you looking to bring in people from the community all over the place? Doesn't matter.
Man, you know, there's some amazing people from Union City that are doing amazing things outside of Union City, and you know, obviously, I'm a person from Union City, so I know these people, and I'm like, wow, look at these people like chasing their dreams. Look at these people making things possible. Look at these people stimulating the economy. And those are the type of people that I want to have conversations with. I actually have conversations with them all the time. I run into them, in print shops. I run into them in local coffee shops, and I'm like, bro, you're doing it. And they're telling me, bro, you're doing it. And I'm like, bro, we're just having these conversations. We need a mic, and we need we need 7 billion people to hear us.
There you go. Yeah, we're working on a podcast called UNC Life, and the idea is kind of, yeah, it's about a small town in New Jersey, but anybody from any small town could watch this and relate. You know what I'm saying? If it's Alabama, Portland, every state has its own little small community trying to do things, right? So, and they have a Harrisons like you,
Mm-hmm.
trying to grind and get it out, and really, you're just to run back and forth here. That juice spot that you're building right now, that you're launching in September. I'm always interested. How do you come up with the name? Just something, that juice spot. Is that just as easy as that, or is there a story behind it?
I think kudos to my girl because she's the one who brought it up, right? And her thing was like, yo, that juice spot, and I'm just like, nah, like let's call it something else, like something juice bar, and I'm just like, and she's like, no, like think about it, like when people talk to you about a juice bar, they'll tell you like, just go to that juice spot over there. They won't. They're so lazy. They won't even remember the name.
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? They don't even. They'll just like, yo, that juice spot up the block, or that juice spot in Union City, or that juice spot in West New York, or that juice spot in North Bergen. So we're like, that a light bulb rang, right? So as soon as she said that, I'm like, yo, you might be onto something. Hold up. I was like, hold that thought. And then I went into Instagram, right? And nobody has used the name That Juice Spot.
Right?
And I have the handle That Juice Spot. So I'm probably sitting on 100 M's right now. I don't know it.
Yeah, it's crazy how that works. But I love it. That is your girl from Union City?
She's a Union City girl, native too as well.
We got that. There's something about us here that got that natural, like marketing.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean,
You know what it is? We're like the bastard children of New York, right? We overlook over there. We've got something to prove.
right.
Right. So we come even harder.
It has a lot to do with our culture too, especially because we're Hispanics too. So we speak Spanish, we speak English,
Spanglish. Yeah.
Spanglish. We know about a lot about music because a lot of music comes from this urban area. A lot about sports because we're surrounded by sports, culture, food. I mean, we're just in the hub of the world. To be honest, everybody flocks and migrates to here, so we pick up a lot of things firsthand on people's culture from anywhere around the world. And that's the amazing part about being from here. To be honest, is that you get a little bit of everything. I could probably talk to you in 3 different accents, 4 different accents, speaking the same language. Like that's the cool part about it.
Yeah. I'm the token white boy in my crew. All my friends Dominican, my wife's Ecuadorian.
Yeah.
So I'm the same way. I know all the slang. I don't know.
That's nice. Your wife is Ecuadorian?
Yeah.
I'm Ecuadorian as well. I'm Ecuadorian and Colombian.
Oh, really? She's from Guayaquil.
I'm from Guayaquil as well.
There you go.
So if you want to ever take that trip, we definitely can. I go all the time.
That's right. I don't want to get kidnapped though. I got that much money. So, question for you, just going back to the podcast thing. If you had the ideal podcast set, what do you think it would be? A table, a couch, a couple of chairs just chatting in a circle? What do you think?
I think the podcast vibe right now that I see online that's working like really well is like having a mic in front of you, right? It makes you feel like, for the visual from the viewer to the person who's actually speaking, and like, gives them some type of upper echelon when they got a mic in front of you. I think maybe 2 chairs, 2 mics, and we're off to the races. I mean, I think, podcasting is also a lot about like, clipping, finding parts in the podcast that are valuable. And I think that's what it's about, because sometimes we might not remember the entire conversation, but we might remember a sentence or two, and that sentence or two is what sticks. And that's what makes people gravitate towards that person. And that's what I really find interesting about podcasting. So I'm like, bro, I'm always talking about business. I'm always talking about motivation. lifestyle, discipline, XYZ. I just need somebody to pick up on, the one or two sentences that I'm talking about. Like, I know I could blow up on social media. and and yeah, man, that's what it's about.
That's the beauty of it, man. That the power. I come from a background. I worked in television for 10 years. We flipped that industry upside down. They no longer have that clout. People like yourself, myself, we're Universal Studios, Union City style, and so that's why the world is yours. You can, decide to go ahead. We can design whatever you want here. Make it one big. It would be silly though. Just make the inside of your store the backdrop.
Oh, yeah, man.
No, but whatever. We could definitely do it up. I definitely am just kind of, as I'm seeing you sitting here now, I'm just trying to envision hearing you talk. But yeah, I just, that's what this is. We're almost coming around in a half hour. Time goes fast when you do podcasts.
Oof.
Right? It's quick. Especially if you had somebody else to talk to.
Yeah, yeah.
Half hour blows right through.
A lot of people like hearing themselves talk. I think I like hearing myself talk too.
Entrepreneurs too.
So I try to cut myself short on some answers, but also, it does take 2, 3, 4, 5 sentences to get to the point.
Yep. So people, I know, I'm that guy too. They're like, all right, we get what you're saying.
Yeah.
We love your excitement, but that's cool, Harrison. Anything else you want to drop before we wrap it up?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that juice spot's opening up in September. Be there, be square. We're right on the corner of 23rd Street and Summit. We're going to be serving healthy juices, healthy food, healthy snacks. It's a vibe in itself. It's more than just a spot. It's that juice spot. I think you should invite your friends, your family, people on your Instagram page, your Facebook page. Invite everybody. We need as much support as we possibly can because, we started this business for one thing and one thing only, and is that to serve our community. Simply because we believe that, the revolution starts with us young people. And, when I walk down the neighborhood, all I see is fast food. All I see is processed food. All I see is vape shops. All I see is a bunch of things that, I don't think a 17-year-old, 15-year-old, 13-year-old should be exposed to at that age. And unfortunately, we live here, and it's overpopulated, and, they're going to put an alcohol store in every corner, and, I just want to get rid of that narrative. I want to, inject the community with some healthy stuff, and that's what we're aiming for.
Amen. And now, because you're my first guy, I'm going to get on camera with you.
Yeah, that's dope.
It's my boy, Harrison.
Yes,
That juice
sir.
spot, James, Big Mouth Studio. Takes one to get it started. That's it. You get the ball rolling. My man. Thank
Let's
you,
get it.
Harrison.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Pleasure.
That's dope, bro.